Very good morning to all of you who have joined online this program on curriculum development. Uh, Curriculum, as you know, is the basic document on which the institution, the students, the teachers, in fact, everything is channelized to meet the requirements of the curriculum, so that you are able to meet the requirement of students to be employed. Now, today we want to talk to you on outcome-based education. Why are we talking about outcome-based education? What was the other education system which we were following? I want to request you, whosoever is online, please ask questions so that we can make it interactive and your doubts are clarified. So what was the system which we were following, or we were following, or we are still following, and maybe there were some problems. There are problems with that system. So people had to invent a new education system, education approach, so that we get meaningful education, we get employable graduates, we get graduates who can start their own organizations, who can start their own startups, who can be entrepreneurs, who have the capability of and capacity of solving the problems, who are innovative. So we have to think in those terms. What is missing in the current system, which in theory we say, theoretically we say we were following, but in practice we are still following. We have not left that system. The system, we will talk about that, but let me start with this presentation. Albert Einstein once said that education is for igniting the natural talents, developing them to excel and improve the quality of life. So, in our case, especially in engineering education, we are we are entrusted with the task of excelling to improve the quality of life of whom? Of the whole human being, not only human being, all living things on the earth. We want to make the life simpler. We probably are responsible for making it, spoiling the nature also. But now we want to work on improving it. How to stop destroying it and how to start repairing it also. At the same time, we want to provide wealth, we want to create wealth, we want to provide jobs, we want to create jobs, we want to provide jobs to the persons, students who are passing out from our organization. So let's go to this slide. Now let's see what is outcome-based education. Outcome-based education is a student-centered teaching learning system. What is this student-centered teaching learning system? From where it has come? Okay, let me read the definition first. Outcome-based education is a student-centered teaching learning system where all activities undertaken by an educational institute, that is, whatever you are doing in the educational institute, that is focused on the attainment of predefined outcomes for the students. That means first is it is a student-centered teaching learning system. That means it is not a teacher-centered. It is centered around the attainment of outcomes which are already defined. I'll explain it. That means for each program means BME, B mechanical engineering, B computer engineering, diploma computer engineering, diploma civil engineering, diploma mechanical engineering, ITI, even BA, BSc, BCom, MCom, master's degree in engineering. For this, we have to first decide what he or she, the students after passing a program, is required to do, what competencies he should have when he passes out from the 4 year degree program of your institute or 3 diploma program from a diploma institute. That means all the required competencies, or what we say is outcomes. Actually, here we talk about outcome, because it is outcome based education. So what we do is, what is required is that you write the outcome, that after passing through the UG program in engineering, the student will be able to do such things. Those who have gone through NBA accreditation or those who are planning to go through the NBA accreditation, they must be knowing that there is something called program outcomes, which are defined by the NBA in this case, National Board of Accreditation. So we have to center around those how the student will be able to attain those outcomes. We have to focus on the student, and everything has to be aligned in such a way that it assists the student to attain those outcomes. We will come to that. What are the outcomes? OBE means clearly focusing and organizing everything an educational system in an educational system around what is essential for the students to be able to do successfully at the end of their learning experience. Same thing in a different wording. That means everybody has to focus: management, teachers, parents, industry, whosoever is involved in the process, they have to focus on making the student attain the required outcomes. These are called program outcomes. Now let me talk a little bit about why we are talking about outcome-based education. If you talk to industry, or even there are national surveys, people say only 20 to 25% of the students are capable of contributing to the organization when they are selected for a job. It may not be 100% true, but there are gaps. What the industry says, that what we want, you are not teaching, and what you teach, we don't need. Now, as I said, it is not 100% true. The only thing is we are not aligning it to the industry. We are just solving the theoretical class problems which are given at the end of the chapter. That is all, and we test the students on those problems only. And if somebody is good in mathematical aspects or in remembering and rewriting the things, we say he is excellent engineer. If somebody can do it practically better, but he is not able to write, we say he is not that good engineer. The system which you are using already now also which you are following, that is called teacher-centered. What is the teacher-centered student as that is system? That the teacher guides the class. Teacher, whatever he decides, he does. Teacher is given a copy of the syllabus. He is given a timetable, and he is asked that you will take 3 lectures in a day, in a week, 2 tutorials and 2 practicals. He does it. He does it very honestly, very seriously. He has done his duty because he was asked that teacher will do this. The focus was teacher, that the teacher will do this. Whereas nobody bothered whether students will be able to do something after this or not. So in outcome-based education, the focus has shifted from the teacher to the student. It is not what the teacher wants, the teacher teaches. No, it is what the students learn or what the students are able to do after going through his lecture or his subject course. Now we differentiate here between the program and the course also. Program is in our when we talk about OBE, department is your departments like Department of Computer Science, Department of Civil Engineering, Department of Electrical Engineering, Department of Rural Development. The program is whatever programs you are offering. Let's say Mechanical Engineering Department may be offering BE in Mechanical Engineering. They may be offering BE in Production Engineering also. They may be offering Mechanical Engineering Department be offering Masters in Manufacturing Technology also. So these are 3 programs: BE in Mechanical, BE Production Engineering, BE ME Manufacturing Technology. Department is Mechanical Engineering only, but the programs are these 3 which I have said, and the courses are what subjects you are teaching actually. In fact, we differentiate between course and subject also. For example, you are teaching 2 mathematics 1 and mathematics 2, or you give some more other name to the mathematics, basic mathematics, advanced mathematics, something like that, advanced calculus. Here the subject is mathematics, but the courses are mathematics 1 and mathematics 2. Subject is physics, courses are nuclear physics, solid state physics. So we need to differentiate between department, program, and course also. The course are the subjects or the whatever courses you are giving during a semester. So outcome-based education is student-centered teaching learning system. where all the activities undertaken by the educational institute are focused on the attainment of predefined outcomes by the students. You can stop me anywhere. I'll stop and discuss your queries. Outcome-based education focuses on the learning outcomes in comparison to the conventional system where the focus was on inputs without much concern about the learning outcomes. As I said earlier, the focus was on the teacher, what the teacher is doing, what inputs teacher is giving. Whereas in outcome-based education, focus is on the what the student is learning. Whatever the teacher may do, he may take the class in the lab itself. But if the students are able to attain the outcomes which are already defined, then we say this is a good system, this is an outcome-based system. As I said, in outcome-based education, the expected program outcomes, what the student will be able to demonstrate after going through 4 years of UG degree program, 2 years of master's degree program, and the expected program outcomes are defined at the post design stage. That means it is not that we do not know where to go. We define the program outcomes at the before you start the program and focus on that attainment of those outcomes. What should be the syllabus? What should be the teaching learning methods? How should you assess those attainments? Assessment and assessment and evaluation is also defined to calculate the attainment of program outcome. That means how will you assess? What are the parameters on which you will assess the student, and how that assessment will contribute to the attainment of the program outcomes. That is also defined. That is also given initially. Course outcomes are defined for each course. I have intentionally written subject and cut it. It is for the course, not the subject. And assessment method is also given to measure the contribution of CO attainment to the attainment of course outcomes, or the indirectly to the program outcomes. How will you assess it? Whether it will be a essay type question, or it will be a practical paper, or it will be on a computer based assessment, or it will be based on some assignment. That also you have to see how the attainment of a particular CO is to be defined and is to be calculated. Basically, outcome-based education, we focus on these things. What do you want the student to learn? That means we should know what the student will be asked to do, or what type of questions, what type of job he will have to do, what type of the activities he has to undertake after passing out from the program. Why do you want them to learn it? I want the students to learn machine design. Why? Because one of my POs is that my students should be able to design the processes for solving the complex engineering problems. I want them to learn about design process. I want to learn them the materials. I want to learn them the mechanisms. I want to learn them how to use computer in solving mechanical engineering problems. So why do you want? That also we should be clear. Normally what you will find is that students, let's say in your computer engineering, there will be one subject on workshop technology. We have moved it now from the curriculum. But students were not interested. They were saying that why should I learn? I'll give you an example of mechanical engineering. There is a subject on basic of electrical and electrical engineering in mechanical engineering. Students neglect it. The parent department, from where the teacher has to come. Teacher has to come from electrical and electronics engineering. They also send some junior person. They are also neglecting it. Because we have not told them why they should be taught, why they should learn basic of electronics engineering and electrical engineering. How can you best help students who learn it? We have defined that they should learn this. We know why they should learn it, something. And how can you help students who learn it? What can we do? What type of practicals we should conduct? What type of theoretical classes we should conduct? What type of teaching method we should have? What type of teaching aids we should develop? What type of model we should have develop so that the student will learn? How will you know what they have learned? That means how will you assess whether on job testing, hands-on testing, practical testing, or it is through a question paper. That also is decided in the beginning itself. So to do all this, what the students want, do you want the students to learn? Why do you want them to learn it? How can you best help students to learn it? How will you know what they have learned? So in OBE, what you do is you define the program outcomes. Program outcomes you don't define. It is defined by a body, maybe at the national level, like in NEP, there will be a body to define the program outcomes. And in our case, NBA is the body which defines the program outcomes for the programs which we are offering. Which we have to offer in, let's say, in engineering and technology, pharmacy, architecture, all this. Then OB says provides learning activities to achieve the POs. That means we will make a curriculum keeping in view the program outcomes so that we can help the students to attain the program outcome. We will write the curriculum. We will make the strategy also how to teach. What teaching methodology we should have? Should it be practical only? Should it be a mix of theory and practical? Should it be only theory? Should it be uh, some simulations through some ready-made computer packages? That we will decide. And what type of teaching pedagogy you want to have it? Is it chalk and board only, or it is something else? You have ICT based, or you have something more like flipped classrooms. There are many new things these days. Assessment of the outcome is well-defined assessment system. That means you have to assess and evaluate the learning outcomes or the student outcome or what we call it program outcomes by a well-defined assessment system, so that we are actually able to discriminate who has attained the outcomes, who has not attained, who has partially attained. It is not to compare the students, it is to see the attainment level so that some remedial action can be taken. Continuous improvement based on the attainment outcomes. We have defined outcomes, we have defined a system of assessment, and we have assessed and evaluated also. Then we compare what were we expecting. We were expecting that 80% of the students will attain or go to the excellent level, but they have not gone. So what you do is you have a look back and see what has gone wrong, whether the curricula was wrong or the teaching learning process was wrong. There is something missing, and I'm not saying wrong, maybe something missing. Maybe the assessment went wrong somewhere. Then you take corrective action. Then you take corrective action and see that action is taken to take care of the lapses or the gaps which have remained. So that is why the students have not attained the program outcome. In nutshell, OB is learner-centric approach to engineering education with focus on what the students learn instead of what the teachers teach. It's itself OB is a learner-centric, learner-focused approach to education. I can delete engineering also from here, but it is applicable to everybody. So it is a learner-centric approach to education with focus on what the student learn instead of what the teacher teach. Normally they say, not me, you. So the program has to be steered as per the requirements of the students, not as per the pace or knowledge of the teacher. So OBE addresses the following issues. What do you want the student to have or be able to do? That is program outcomes. How can you best help students achieve it? resources, physical resources, human resources, curriculum, teaching learning processes, all that, what we need for doing this, so that you are prepared to deliver it to the students. How will you know what they have achieved, whether they have achieved it or not? That means you should have a good assessment and evaluation. You should have both continuous assessment as well as end semester or end year assessment. How do you close the loop? How do you take the feedback and compare what you expected and what has happened? Do you take feedback, or you discuss amongst the faculty that this has happened and what action you want to take? That is called continuous quality improvement, CQI. You have to take action to improve the quality. If you had written that 70% of the students will let's say attain 70% of the uh, requirements of the program, then next time you increase it. If 70% have already reached that level, then what you do is you enhance that level next time. If you have not reached it, test it, evaluate yourself, your process. What has gone wrong? Whether the curriculum was wrong, or the teaching learning process was wrong, or assessment was wrong. If no, then what else? Teacher was not having enough experience to teach that subject. You have to find out and they take action, corrective action. So OB is based on vision and mission, program educational objectives, we call it as PEOs, program outcomes, POs, curriculum based on POs. That means your curriculum be designed based on the requirements of the POs. Teaching learning process, you have to define the teaching learning process, which should be able to meet the requirement of attainment of the POs. Practical assessment tools, you should have excellent assessment tool, assessment system, which should not go wrong. It should be able to differentiate, should be able to clearly tell whether the particular student has attained the requirements of the grant of degree or not. Practical assessment, effective assessment. You see, you have the tools. There are two things. One is you have the tools. Second is you plan the assessment also. How will you do that? And you should have it. These are two things. One is assessment. Second is evaluation. Assessment is only basically collection of data to evaluate. You don't take decision in assessment. You may take corrective action during assessment period. But once you have assessed and given it to the evaluation system takes decision and gives the result that somebody has failed, somebody has passed. CQI, continuous quality improvement procedures should be in place. Any questions, please? I'm stopping for 2 minutes.
Sir, good
You are
afternoon.
there, okay. Very good afternoon.
Sir, I wanted to know.
Rajesh Sharma.
Yes, sir, from the IMS Engineering College. Yeah, I was saying that in the second last slide, you said that there were certain challenges or issues which OB is addressing. And one of the issue was how do you close the loop? So can you elaborate on that aspect of what kind of loop are we talking about and how do we actually address it using the OB concepts?
Okay. Good question, because this is the last phase of the OBE, that you make the curriculum, you have the resources, you have the teaching learning processes. Then there is something called attainment of outcomes. You have the POs. In POs, we cannot say that at the first instance that by 100% students will take 100%, let's say, in terms of marks. Although in OB we don't talk in terms of marks, we talk in terms of criteria. So what you do is you set a target. You set a target, for example, that my 70% of the students will pass with 70% marks in your subject. Let's say we talk about a subject only. So what happens? You do very sincerely, you take the classes, you conduct the tests also, you connect the theory classes, tutorial classes, everything you do very sincerely. Because you are giving the same treatment to all the students, everybody should get the at least a threshold mark. You see, when you said 70% of the students will get 70% marks, you never said that nobody will get 80% or 90%. People will get 80% and 90%. But we said a minimum 70% will get 70% marks. People will get more, people will get lesser also. But you have done everything. You have taken the classes very sincerely. You have taken the tutorials also. You have taken the practical classes. You have connected the tests also. You have connected the quiz also. Everything. But when you finally analyze the result, you find that only 60% of the students have gone beyond 70%. So what you do? You try to analyze. Where has the system gone wrong? I will not say that you have gone wrong. Where has the system, implementation system has gone wrong? Is it the teaching learning process? Is it your practical classes? They have not connected very seriously. I'll tell you that practical classes are the most neglected thing in engineering. I'll talk to on this later. But at the same time, you try to analyze whether there is something wrong in the teaching learning process, in assessment, in making the questions, testing. So then once you have, maybe you take feedback also. I go on NBA visits. So what we find is people do take feedback, but they never analyze it. Feedback is just taken to show it to the NBA team. They don't analyze it and they don't take any corrective action. So if you can analyze the system, where has the process gone wrong? Why the students have not been able to reach the targeted level? Then what you do is you plan the corrective action. That is called action taken. What action you will take, or you plan your action, so that whatever shortcomings we have faced in the previous cycle, they will not be repeated in the next cycles. Either if you feel this is not the suggested way, you lower the target. But if you lower the target, when the team comes to you, let's say an NBA team comes to you, they will point out, I normally point out that your target levels are very low. You have fixed the target level only at 50%. So everybody achieves it and you are not even revising it in the next year. Take the feedback on the teacher, whether he is capable, he is experienced. I will not say capable, he is experienced enough in that area. Maybe I am working in some other area and I am given a subject to teach in some other area. I am not very thorough with it. I am not very comfortable in teaching this, but because you didn't have anybody else to teach that, so you have given somebody to me, which I probably have not been able to do justice because it is not my expertise. What you do is next time either you change the teacher or you train this teacher himself on handling that subject. So that is how you close the loop. That is continuous quality improvement. Dr. Aman, am I clear?
Yes, sir. I believe we are following similar things, which is called as gap analysis. Is this what we are?
It is gap analysis is basically curriculum you are talking about it. It is basically based on assessment and evaluation. Gap analysis is, let's say, you are from which department?
Sir, we are right now from CSC department.
CS department?
Yes, sir.
So in your syllabus, you find that cloud computing is not there or IoT is not there. We should have been there because there is a lot of people asking for it. There are a lot of jobs available in IoT system. So, but you don't have it. So you have found a gap that industry wants this, but curriculum doesn't have it. So that is gap analysis, right?
Understood, sir. Understood.
So this is on the performance by the students. What I am talking.
Understood, sir. Thank you.
Anybody else?
Hello, sir. I have one very basic questions. What is? Can you please elaborate the course and subject? What is the difference between course and subject?
Did I explain it? You just explain. First, introduce yourself.
So I am Dr. Deep Raj. I am from SRM University, AP, sir.
Shara University.
SSRM University, Andhra Pradesh.
SRM. Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, yes.
What is the difference between subject and course? I tried to explain, Dr. Deepraj. We, uh, you are from which department?
So I am from Environmental Science and Engineering Department, sir.
Okay, let's say you are familiar with the physics.
Yes,
Physics is a subject.
yes.
But when you say I am teaching solid state physics,
Okay,
it becomes a course under physics.
okay, sir.
In mathematics, in engineering, what you do is you teach maybe two courses on mathematics, mathematics one, mathematics two, or let's say some name you give, matrices and something. Now the subject is mathematics. The courses are mathematics one and mathematics two.
Then, sir, what is program then?
Program is the degree, terminal degree which you are giving. Let's say somebody is doing diploma, you say diploma is given, diploma, 3 years diploma, that is a program. 1 year ITI is a program. 1 year, 2 years ITI is a program. BA is a program. BSc is a program.
Okay, so if I have BSc in Environmental Science, then that complete thing is a program.
That is a program.
Okay, and Environmental Science is a subject according to you, sir.
No, it will be a course also because it is only one subject you are teaching.
But in Environmental Science, many.
The course can be a subject also. Yes, Dr. Deepas.
Sir, so MSc in Environmental Science is a program,
It is a program.
and Environmental Science is a.
It can be a subject, it can be a course also, but a subject can have a number of courses.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Subject can have number of courses, many
Yeah,
courses.
yeah. So, as we said, we have discussed that OBE is basically based on outcomes at different levels. There are two set of arrows. One is coming from top to bottom, and the other is going from bottom to top. So let's see what is coming from top to bottom. We start from vision and mission of the institution or the department or the program. Vision and mission, I think we'll talk. Vision is basically overall what the institute wants to be in the long term, maybe after 15 years. Where do you want to reach? You want to be at the to the best institution in the region for engineering education. That is your vision. Mission is basically how will you attain that vision. You want to become the best sought out institution in the region. How will you do that? 3-4 statements. I will provide state-of-the-art labs to the students. I will create an environment where people can innovate. People can ideate. People can incubate their ideas. Program educational objectives are PEOs, we call them. They are basically where you want to see the students after 4 or 5 years of passing out. Whereas the POs, program outcomes, are where you want to see your students immediately, what your students will be able to do when they pass out from the program. So POs are immediately after passing out from the program. PEOs are after 4 or 5 years of the passing out. Then you write the course outcomes. Every course you are teaching, that should have some course outcomes. Why you are teaching that course, or what the student will be able to do after going through that course. Program outcomes, as I said, in our case are defined by National Board of Accreditation, NBA, and they are same for the same level of program. That means for all diploma programs, they are similar. For all degree programs, they are similar. And in addition to that, They are, as I said, they are similar to all the programs at, let's say, UG level. There are something like PSOs. PSOs are program specific outcomes. POs are in generic language, but PSOs are in specific to your program. Let's say you are situated in Gurgaon. There is a lot of auto industry. You say my students will be able to design solutions for automobile industry. My students will be more focused on VLSI design. My students will be more competent to work in smart cities because they are exposed to these environments which are peculiar to your batch students, which everybody else is not having. So these are called PSOs. So what I said, vision statement is the anchor point for any organization. That means whatever is to be done in the organization, that should focus towards the vision. The vision statement describes what the organization wants to be. Vision statement sets the direction in which all the efforts of the organization will be directed. Mission is action planning process. How will we be able to attain the vision? Vision is the action part of the mission is the action part of the vision. POs are broad statements that describe what graduates are expected to attain within few years of graduation. That will be say 4 or 5 years, where you want to see your students. POs, program outcomes, refer to what a student should know or be able to do at the end of the program. After 4 years of degree program, after 3 years of diploma programs. Course outcomes refer to what a student should know or be able to do at the end of a program. That means you have taken a course during a semester. What he should be able to do after that? Should he be able to write a C program or a computer program to solve a complex problem in mechanical engineering? That can be one of the COs of when you are teaching computer programming. Now let's see what is different in OBE. How we will achieve whatever we are talking about. I say curriculum is different. I say environment is different. You are not talking about passing this examination. We are talking about learning outcomes. We are talking about program outcomes. You are talking about vision, mission. Environment is different. Curriculum is different. I'll come to it how curriculum is different. Teaching learning approach is different. The role of the teacher also changes. Expectation from the students, both the teachers and the students, they have to work at different aspects. Assessment evaluation is different. Continuous quality improvement is there in this. Now let's say what is different in the curriculum. Curriculum is based on the POs, program outcome. Curriculum is not designed by 2-3 faculty members sitting together and finalizing curriculum. No. There is an active involvement of the stakeholders. Very active involvement of the stakeholders should be there. Has to be there. Who are the stakeholders? You as faculty member are the stakeholders. Students whose whole life is dependent on what you are doing with them, they are stakeholders. Industry is the stakeholder, where you want them to be employed. Your alumni is stakeholders. State government and central government, they are the stakeholders because the economy of the nation depends on what you are teaching, what your students will be contributing. The parents of the students are stakeholders because it is their ward who is going to be affected and they are paying for it. The curriculum should not be static. It should be dynamic. It should be dynamic as per the requirements of the client system. And they should have flexible content. Now, all this I am saying, but one more thing which is connected to this is that the teachers who are implementing, they have to be trained in these aspects, and they should contribute to this. Industry involvement has to be there. Course outcomes are defined for each course, as I said. For each course outcome, CO, assessment method, how will you test it, how you want to test it. Well-defined laboratory tasks. As I said, laboratory tasks are basically lab work is most neglected thing in our program. One is at the stage of defining the lab tasks also. Somebody writes tensile test. Now I can interpret it anyway. That I will study the tensile set, I will see the machine, or I will work on it, or what inferences I want to draw from that, why I want to do it. Then once the students, you see, students are given the lab notebooks, which are already written, neatly typed, computer printed. What the students have to do is they have to write the readings only. Those readings also they copy from the previous year's students' notebooks. I have seen that the table where the students have to fill the reading, that is also vacant. Students don't fill it. The teacher has put a tick mark that I have seen it, it is correct. So it is a serious thing. Serious thing is that we are taking the lab classes non-seriously. As I said, OBE based curricula has PEOs, POs, COs, and performance indicators. When we will say that somebody has reached that level, it is objective and outcome driven, where every stated outcome can be assessed and evaluated. It is nothing is by accident. It is by design. That means whatever you are doing, it is designed. We are required to do like this. It is centered around the needs of the students to meet stakeholder requirements. Stakeholder requirements are known to us through POs, and what the students should be able to do to meet those POs, to meet this stakeholders requirement, that is the focus of the curriculum. Every learning outcome is intentional, and therefore the outcomes must be assessed using suitable performance indicators. Program PEOs and PEOs, you can read this. Program outcome consists of ability to be attained by the student before they graduate, are formulated based on the program educational objectives. You see, you have to address the requirements of immediately at the time of graduation and after 3 to 5 years after the graduation. When you talk about 3 to 5 years after the graduation, that is program educational objectives, and when you talk about immediately when the students are passing, that is called program outcomes. Program outcomes address knowledge, skill, and attitudes to be attained by the student. Teaching learning methods may have to be integrated to include different delivery methods to complement the traditional lectures. That means it is not saying that you just change your system, that you will not use chalk and board at all. No, you have to required to integrate the methods. Something you are doing on chalk and board, something you are doing with the slides, something you are doing with the animation, depending upon which method suits the best. Then how about teaching learning process? It has to be student centered. It is student focused, so that the students will learn what you are going to teach, and they should be able to apply. Empower teachers with autonomy to the teachers in conduct of classes and assessment. You see, what OBE wants is that the same teacher who is teaching, he should conduct the continuous assessment, as well as he should assess the assessment and evaluation system. That is the most faulty system. Mix of teaching learning approaches. You, as I said, you may have to use mix of teaching learning approaches. It is not necessary. In addition, you use the modern pedagogical approaches also. In addition, what you do is theory class, then take them to practical, or first the teacher wants to show them the lab, and then take the theory lecture. Probably that may help in better learning of the students. Focus on development of knowledge, skill, and attitude. Of course, it has to be there. Teacher role more as team member, leader rather than individual. There are some things like flipped classroom, where the teacher doesn't teach the student the role of what the student, the work what the students are doing in the classroom. That means learning the concepts that is done at the home, and problem solving, problem discussion is done in the classroom. Continuous record keeping and mentoring the students. This is a big complaint from many of the faculty members that in outcome based education there's a lot of paperwork, that's of record keeping. But there you have to probably take the help of computer. Every college has a computer science department. They should develop a package for maintaining the records. But of course, you have to maintain continuous records, and you have to mentor the students at different stages. Bloom's taxonomy is used extensively for planning of teaching learning activities and assessment. Bloom's taxonomy, I don't know whether you have it in this week's syllabus, but it is one thing which every engineering teacher should also read. Just see the difference between the teaching approaches. In traditional education system, which is on the right side, just see the expression on the face of the student, because she's just copying. She is not interested in it. Whereas in the outcome-based education, the students are eager to participate. They are happy to participate. They are happy to listen and answer the queries. Now the conventional system is teacher-focused. Outcome-based system is learner-focused. In conventional system, passive learners, students are there. But in outcome-based education, active learner. Students are active learners. Examination-driven, they have to pass the examination. That is the aim in conventional system. But here it is the outcome-driven. That means how much they will be able to perform, what they can claim that they have learned. Content-based syllabus is basically in outcome-based. It is integration of knowledge. Syllabus is rigid. In outcome-based, teacher can be innovative and creative. The only thing is you will need a lot of autonomy in this. Teacher is responsible for learning, learners responsible for their own learning. Very, very good point. It is on the teacher, responsibility comes on the teacher that the students have to learn, whereas in outcome-based education, learners are responsible for their own learning. Emphasis on what lecturer hopes to achieve, emphasis on what the students have to attain. Content placed in rigid time frame. In outcome-based, you can have flexible time frames. Learning determines the pace. In conventional, it is basically learning, remembering, and reproducing. That's called rote learning. Whereas outcome-based, we say that it's basically based on critical thinking, reasoning, and action taken. Assessment and evaluation. Well-defined assessment and evaluation system. Focus on attainment of outcomes. In assessment, that you see, the assessment should also be such that it is in line with the outcome-based education. You do whatever you do. If you are not able to do it, assess it properly, it is of no use. Assessment is aligned to attainment of course outcomes. In place of norm-based assessment, we have criteria-based assessment here in OBE. Instead of going for marks, it is rubrics-based assessment. Now, what is rubrics? Maybe we will come sometime later. Assessment is to ensure attainment of outcomes rather than failing or passing a student. Very important. We don't want to fail or pass. We want to see whether the student have attained the outcomes. No comparison between the students. All students may be excellent. All students may be below average. It is not based on the normal distribution curve. Students know the assessment criteria in advance. It is not suddenly falling on them. They know how they will be assessed. There are direct assessment approaches. There are indirect assessment approaches. These are the assessment tools. Of course, direct assessment is what you are doing in the classroom. You are taking tests, quizzes, case studies, projects, that is direct assessment. But indirect assessment is taking feedback from others about your students. Exit surveys, students only will give the what is missing, what is good, and what is bad about the institute or the teacher. Alumni survey, they will talk about what should be done to improve the teaching learning process or the system as a whole, so that the students are more acceptable to the industry and they are able to contribute. Employer surveys and interviews, job offers, starting level, that means how many job offers you are getting and what level of salary they are getting. We say there are many students who the college wants to show them as employed, but they are getting 10,000 rupees. So we say they are underemployed, they are not employed. Admission to graduate schools, performance in group and internship assignments, assignments, reports, and tests. Role of teacher in outcome-based education. Teacher becomes a part of the group actually here. He becomes a facilitator. Teacher will practice new pedagogical approaches. He will prepare assignments which will contribute to development of new skills required in the 21st, which we call as 21st century skills. He will do assessment and evaluation to ensure students learn, and he will particularly be honest in assessment and evaluation. He will lead by example. He will himself do something, some exercises, some assignments also. Assign and monitor project work. Project work is one very important part of your degree programs or diploma programs. So there you have to see how to assign the project work, how to monitor the project work, and how to evaluate the project work. Focus on student learning. The student has to focus on student learning and he is committed to continual improvement. Expectation from the students. It is not passive students, it is they should develop analytical thinking and innovative thinking. They should be active learners. They should work on critical thinking and analysis. They should understand. They will automatically start working. Creative, originality, and initiative. They should be creative. They should work on regional things and take initiatives. Complex problem solving. They should work on complex problem solving. What is complex problem solving? Complex problem solving is a problem which has no direct solution, which we have more than one solution, which doesn't have an IS codes to work on. Leadership and social influence, reasoning, problem solving and ideation, technology design and programming, system analysis and evaluation. They should work on these capabilities. All these are called 21st century skills. The student should be proactive, must come prepared for each class, contribute by teaching others. Peer learning also is required. Active learning, do assignments seriously, learning from instructor, classmates, ethics, respect, trust, and openness. Innovative project work, focus on self-learning. I think it is all clear now. So this is one exercise on which I normally discuss with them, that we are so much restricting the students. This is the Ohm law, verification of Ohm's law concept. We always want that the students will draw the figure as shown in the left, and we tell them you take a voltmeter of this range, you take an ammeter of this range, and you have a power battery source, and do the experiment. You change the resistance and the voltage, and current will change. I have not seen a circuit displayed like what is displayed on the right side, because we have not given them the chance to think. We have not allowed them to select a voltmeter of their range as per their thinking. We tell them that the voltmeter is to be connected in parallel and ammeter will come in series. That is all we tell. But why? That we don't tell. So this is all about outcome-based education. I will take 2-3 minutes more. I will show you the program outcomes, which are for engineering programs, UG program. First is engineering knowledge. Apply the knowledge of mathematics, science, engineering fundamental and engineering specialization to solution of complex engineering problems. This is PO1. There are 12 POs. Now there is no name of the discipline coming. Neither it says computer science, not mechanical, not electrical. No, it is for all engineering, and it says specialization and engineering specialization. That means in your specialization. Problem analysis, identify, formulate, review, research literature, and analyze complex engineering problems, reaching substantiated conclusions. It is not hit and trial. You should be able to substantiate the problem technically and scientifically. Design development of solution, conduct investigation of complex problems, modern tool uses, engineering and society. That means what is the effect of the, you are giving some solutions, what is the effect of those solutions on the society, environment and sustainability, very important these days. Ethics also, they should not forget. They should be able to work in teams, and as well as they should be able to lead the teams. Communication very important, both oral and written. Project management and finance, they should be aware of the timings, importance of the timing and finance. Lifelong learning, very, very important is that they should be able to learn themselves. They should know where the information will be available and how to use it. So this is all about outcome-based education. I again request all of you to please ask questions.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Sir, I'm Dr. Gurpinder Singh here.
From which place?
Sir, I'm from Punjab, Jalandhar.
Which college?
Sir, it's a lovely professional university.
Help you. Okay.
Ji. Sir, once we are talking of these POs to be defined in, for the engineering program, these POs are very well defined by the different bodies and learned people over there.
Yeah.
Once we go in for the programs of science, let's say for BSc program or for other programs, these POs are not that much structured over there.
Now UGC has given 17 POs for guidelines for making the POs. If you see the latest document of the UGC, they have given 17 headings under which you can make POs. You can combine some of them.
Sir, that is still not very much well defined. There is a lot. I feel like there is a lot of scope over there. Like in engineering, there is a very well structured over there.
Yeah, engineering is very well structured, Gurpinder Singh. But they have given the guideline that you make it. Maybe they will refine it also after some time.
Right, sir.
Yeah. The observation is very well taken.
Ji. Thank you, sir.
But sir, I think program educational objectives are not defined by the NBA or similar accreditation. Program outcomes have been defined. That is.
Yeah, I think POs only. It is POs only.
Yes. So,
because what the NBA says, or it is general understanding, that PEOs will be defined basically by the constituencies where your students are going to be employed.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It is more or less, I believe, if we want to do something, if we are intended to do something, we must have a clear objective. So in that way, in terms of language, we can define by referring reputed institutes in India and abroad. We can define whether it is non-engineering program or it is any other kind of program.
Sir, you are not introduced yourself.
Oh, I'm sorry, sir. I am Vaivaswata Mahapatra, working as Professor and Dean R&D at Greater Noida Institute of Technology.
Okay, Professor, this POs, if you have gone through the NEP 2020, there is a General Education Council which will come up, which will define the POs for all programs, because they say we will not bother about what your curriculum is, how many teachers you are keeping, what you are doing, but what we will monitor is whether your program is going to meet the POs. POs will come from above now.